Isn't it time we tell our side of the story? I'm Patrick Corelchi.
And I'm Adriana Cortez, and we're the hosts of Red Pilled America, a new storytelling podcast.
Red Pilled America is not another talk show covering the day's news. We are all about telling stories. Stories Hollywood doesn't want you to hear. Stories the media mocks. Stories about everyday Americans that the elites ignore. You could think of Red Pilled America as audio documentaries, and we promise only one thing: the truth.
Every week, Red Pilled America hopes to inform you on some specific topic, but our ultimate goal is to entertain you. Each episode will pose a simple question. Can the Me Too movement really clean up Hollywood? Why is Los Angeles having a homeless surge? Is fake news really a new phenomenon? Then we'll look for the answer in the stories of the dismissed men and women all over our great country.
Visit the iHeartRadio app right now to listen to Red Pilled America. That's the iHeartRadio app, and search for Red Pilled America.
Yeah, it's amazing. 622, by the way, here in Houston's Morning News. It is amazing what a difference the whole COVID pandemic made as far as getting parents involved in our public schools. For the first time, a lot of parents really got involved in what their schools were teaching their kids, got involved with school boards, got involved with the idea that our kids need to be in the classroom, they're losing ground. And now, evidently, it has led to a lot of swing voters, a lot of people who are on the fence, maybe weren't politically motivated before to even vote, let alone vote for a Republican, now seem inclined to do so because they are sour on the entire experience. Christopher Heasley joins us, Freedom Matters Action Group. You get soccer moms, school age kids moms. You get them aggravated, you get them involved. Once they get involved, they're pretty tenacious.
Absolutely, yes. Good morning. So what happened what happened, I think, is that when they shut down the school systems, the school systems are already a pretty much an imposition in our lives. It's a state-enforced monopoly over that educational sector of our business. And so we have to fund it regardless of performance. But then when they go ahead and shut it down and we are all dependent on it, and we all have to all of a sudden scurry and take moves to get new accommodations for our children because they just, with the flip of a switch, pulled this service from our lives that we're dependent on. Well, at that point in time, that really set a message to the entire, all parents across our Texas counties that, wow, we really have to do something now to make up for this hole in our lives. And so, what parents were doing, the ones that had the resources, they had to scurry to get their kids new accommodations for education. Because, a child, it's not like they just shut down their capacity to learn. They're in their young formative years, and we have to feed them a good quality education during that time. We have a very short window to do so. And the parents knew this, and so they had to find additional resources because, of course, we had to continue to fund the schools when they deprived us of these services, when they shut them down, again, with no public debate, with no discourse, no discussion. This is a monopoly. They just flipped the switch and said, you will not receive these services anymore. And so parents had to make those amends to get children into new educational learning, because the truth is that a child, they have to continue to develop. They have to continue to learn during those formative years. And if you just pull the switch on that, if you pull the rug out from underneath them, then you stunt their growth, and there will be issues down the road. And for a lot of our parents, they simply didn't have those resources to get their kids in additional, educational facilities. And so, a lot of kids really were hurt by this.
Let me ask you this. The masking up, the forcing of vaccinations, this was for the protection of the teachers once they did return to the schoolrooms. And now they're ginning up again all this fear about, in the fall we're going to have yet the latest variant and blah, 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 blah. I mean, are parents catching on to this? Are they awake? Do they see what has happened?
Absolutely. The masking has no medical basis. And again, it was just another flip of the switch. Hey, we're going to impose this on your child. We're going to go ahead and do this, And the thing about the masks is really, that was about, that was in line with the ideologies that has infiltrated our schools today, which is a Marxist ideology. And in good communist fashion, the whole thing about that communist ideology is they don't like they don't like individualism. And the most distinctive feature and characteristic on a person's body is their face. It's even more so than the thumbprint. It identifies who the person is. And so in good communist fashion, they covered over the faces of each and every child in our schools, rendering them virtually unrecognizable. And it's a statement to the child that, you are nobody. You are a ward of the state. And we have autonomy over you, not your parents, not yourself. And of course, think about the connection between that and the mandatory vaccine, which was coming next.
I think they made it pretty clear that they believe they are in charge of your child. Christopher, have to run, but thank you for your time, sir. Christopher Heasley, Freedom Matters Action Group.